Money, if invested well, can multiply. We invest $10,000 into a well-diversified broad market index fund today, and there's a good chance it could double to $20,000 in 10 years and double again to $40,000 in 20 years. Well, time doesn't work in the same way. We can't invest time to make more of it despite how cool that would be. We all get the same amount of time in a day, and we must make the best use of it. So in that spirit, I want to review 10 things that are wasting our time every day so we can conserve more of this precious and limited resource. The number one thing that is wasting our time every day: mindless scrolling. When we're bored at home or at work, what is our default activity? We pull out our phone and start scrolling away. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. If it's not social media, news feeds, politics, the market, the latest gossip. Technology is amazing. The ability to access the world through a tiny device that fits in our pocket, if you were to pause and think about it, is pretty crazy. I remember watching Star Trek in the 90s, and I thought the tablets they carried around was the coolest thing ever. They had access to so much data on the palm of their hand. 20 years later, we have that technology and more. However, the downside of having so much information available to us at all times is that it enables mindless scrolling to become a regular habit that we waste so much of our time on. We scroll without a clear purpose. We scroll because we're bored. And the worst of it all is that it adds no measurable value. Instead, we feel mentally fatigued, unfulfilled, and thus even more tired afterwards. So reclaim this time. What I like to do is eliminate as much temptation as possible by removing apps from my phone that contribute most to mindless scrolling. Despite being on social media, I actually don't keep many social media apps on my phone. No Twitter, no Instagram, no Facebook. I only access them when I'm on my desktop. Second, I try to keep my phone and digital devices apart from me during specific windows throughout the day. After 8 p.m., I leave my phone and my iPad in my home office, and I don't look at them until the next day. Yes, combating mindless scrolling is hard. For many of us, the habit is so ingrained within us that it feels weird not to be doing it whenever we have downtime. However, our time is precious, so be mindful of the pointlessness of mindless scrolling and work to minimize that throughout the day. The number two thing that is wasting our time every day. In the line of mindlessly checking our phones, we check our emails constantly. If a big part of your work requires you to communicate via email, this is probably a habit that is well ingrained within you as well. Whenever you have downtime or awkwardly waiting for the elevator to come down, you pull out your phone and check to see if there are any emails you might have missed. 99% of email users check their inbox every day, and 58% do it the first thing in the morning. Why kiss your spouse and the kids good morning when you can kiss your inbox, right? And I am the first one to admit I am so guilty of this. On my worst days, when I'm waiting for someone's email, I'm probably checking my inbox every 15 minutes. And if 30 minutes went by and I didn't check my inbox, it would feel very weird, like I forgot something very important. Yes, if we're part of a team and people are relying on us to provide response in a timely manner, checking our inbox is an important part of our job. However, we must check ourselves not to overdo it, and to not let it become a default activity every 15 minutes, because to check it so frequently is actually counterproductive. Not only does checking it so frequently disrupt our workflow, but it also fragments our focus and our ability to do uninterrupted, quality work. For me, it takes a lot of time to get into a zone when I'm trying to focus on something. And when I hit a hard patch, like a topic I have a hard time understanding, or I get a writer's block, my mind starts to look for something easier, like checking my inbox. My mind wants relief from the brain-intensive work, and email often becomes a default activity. And when I check my inbox, I forget what I was working on, and I start going down the rabbit hole of responding to unimportant emails or getting distracted by some random deal I wasn't aware of. And just like that, I lost my focus on what I was working on, and it would take me double the effort later on to get back to what I was working on. What's really helped me to check this time waster is to designate a time window when I would exclusively check my inbox and respond to emails. Ideally, a couple hours after the start of workday, like 10 a.m., and a few hours before the end of workday, like 4 p.m. I don't always keep to this, but having this framework at least helps me to have a target I'm shooting for. The number three thing that is wasting our time every day. We waste so much time when we don't operate with a to-do list. A good way to think about your to-do list is think of it like a roadmap for your day. If you were to start driving without a roadmap or directions, it's only a matter of time before you get lost. You would wind through random streets heading this way and that, not making much headway. And the worst part is that you would have wasted so much time. In the same way, when we start our day without a to-do list, we find ourselves navigating through a chaotic and disjointed series of activities lacking direction and focus. A good to-do list, one that is well thought out and well structured, serves as a valuable tool to prioritize tasks, set goals, and allocate time efficiently. For me, I like to create my to-do list the evening prior. After I'm done with my work priorities for the day, I like to review all the things that I've completed and all the things that I want to work on next. Then I look at my calendar to see how much time I would have available for the following day. Then I create a realistic to-do list that aligns with time available. For example, if I have 4 hours of uninterrupted time tomorrow, that means I can work on 1 or 2 intensive projects like writing out a script or filming 1 or 2 videos. A good to-do list finds the perfect balance between being aggressive enough to direct us and challenge us, however, not so much that we feel unmotivated to start. You don't want to have a to-do list with 12 things you want to accomplish. That is a wish list, not a to-do list. I personally don't like to have more than 3 big items per day. If the project is really intensive, just 1 is fine. In the spirit of adding important things to our to-do list, let's talk about our phone bills. If you've been paying too much for phone service and have been on the market for an affordable wireless phone plan, I highly recommend you check out Mint Mobile, who I'm partnering with for today's video. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data, given they're built in the nation's largest 5G network. And how are they able to do this? It's because Mint Mobile's model is based on direct online selling. They don't have any costly retail stores and salespeople, and thus are able to pass those savings directly to you, the customer. No need to pay more than you have to access the same network. And switching to mobile is super easy. Thanks to a digital SIM card, you can sign up and activate it immediately right on your phone. And if you don't have a digital SIM card, Mint Mobile will send you a new card for free. So if you want to not overpay and start saving money on your phone bill today, use my link. Try mintmobile.com/financialtortoise or scan my QR code. And right now, they're offering a buy 3 months, get 3 months free promotion through January 1st, 2024. If you want to lower your phone bill, this is a no-brainer. And not only is this a great way to save money, but an easy way to support this channel as well. Hopefully, win-win for all of us. All right, with that said, let's get back to the video. The number 4 thing that is wasting our time every day. In the hopes of trying to do everything on our to-do list, we multitask. Do this exercise with me. Get a blank sheet of paper and try doing these 2 things at once. 1, spell out your full name out loud. Taekim, Taekim. Then simultaneously write out, I love Financial Tortoise. The key is to do these 2 activities simultaneously and to time yourself trying to do these 2 things at once. All right, you got it? Let's try exercise number 2. And this time, instead of trying to do these 2 activities at the same time, do it 1 at a time, sequentially, one after the other. Spell out your full name out loud again, but only do that first. Then once you're done with spelling out your name out loud, then immediately after, write out, I love Financial Tortoise. Again, time yourself. Done? Now the chances are that you did exercise 2 much faster than exercise 1, when you did each task one after the other rather than trying to do 2 things at the same time. Single tasking was much faster than multitasking. The reason is because multitasking is counterproductive and not the most efficient use of time to get things done because it divides our attention among multiple tasks. When you're switching between tasks, your brain requires more time to refocus and adapt to the next context. It was really hard to try to focus on spelling out your name and write out a sentence at the same time. Your brain literally couldn't do 2 things at once. It had to switch from one task to the other, and this is not efficient at all. When you have a lot to do, it's tempting to try to do all of them at once. Reply to emails while on a conference call, read a book while watching Stranger Things on Netflix. However, refrain from this temptation. Focus on one thing at a time and work on it until you can cross it off the list. The number 5 thing that is wasting our time every day. Another common item that keeps us from getting things done. Distractions. Distractions come in many forms. Ping of an email, a text, a random phone call, or your kids running into a room when you're on an important interview. Focus is really hard to achieve. It takes tremendous amount of energy to get into a state where you can focus on the task at hand. And some studies have shown that once you're distracted, it can take up to 15 minutes to get back into the same state of focus again. So try to mitigate this as much as possible. For me, what I like to do is turn off all notifications on my phone when I know I have to get into deep work. You can turn your phone into focus mode so you aren't interrupted by emails or text. For me, I actually turn off all notifications except text by default. Second, set up your environment in order to minimize distractions. If the kids are home, I tell them Daddy needs to focus for the next hour, so unless someone falls into the toilet, please do not interrupt. And even if someone falls in the toilet, if you can get yourself out, please don't bother Daddy. Third, create visual cues to signal you don't want to be distracted. If you're in an open layout office, intentionally wear large headphones to signal that you're in the zone. Then blast out the Baroque music to enter that focus zone. I find that Baroque music has enough intensity to keep me in the zone, but not so much to distract me from what I'm doing. Real quick, if you like all the points that I'm covering in this video, you might like my 1-page companion PDF guide. Think of it like a quick cheat sheet you can print and reference to remind yourself all the timeless lessons I'm covering in this video. I always learn things better when I can not only hear things, but see them visually as well. So if you'd like a free copy of this PDF, please go to the link I'll have in the description below. All right, with that said, let's get back to the video. The number 6 thing that is wasting your time every day. This is more work-related, but unnecessary meetings. Don't be a yes person when it comes to meetings. Actually, default to no. And ask if and why you need to be at the specific meeting. I've been in too many meetings in my career where everybody was invited just because that was how things were done. Who cares if the objective wasn't clear? Who cares if your portion is only 2 minutes of the meeting? We might not want people to feel left out, but your time is too precious. Always default to no if the specific reason for why you need to be in the meeting isn't clear. You can always get a summary of the outcome via a quick email. And if it's hard to get out of meetings, push to make sure the meetings start and end on time and that it has a clear objective. Don't be a bystander when it comes to work meetings. In the knowledge work world, meetings often become the default activity whenever we want to get something done. But it's one of the most inefficient use of people's time because so much time is spent trying to figure out what the meeting is about rather than actually working on the problem. Bottom line, default to no when it comes to meetings. The number 7 thing that is wasting our time every day. We waste too much time worrying too much about what other people think. Again, I'll be the first one to admit this. I waste way too much time worrying about what other people think of me. Will people like my new haircut? How about my new shirt? Or this awkward joke? We're all human, and humans are social beings, so it's natural to worry about what other people think of us. Do they like us, or do they not like us? Why? But the truth is that people's opinions are subjective, and no matter how hard I try styling my hair, some people will flat out just hate it. That is beyond my control, and we all have to accept that fact. Instead of worrying about other people, we can channel that energy towards ourselves and focus on personal growth, self-reflection, and pursuing meaningful goals. Things that are really within our control. Bottom line, recognize that not everyone will share the same perspective or priorities. Free yourself from the burden of seeking universal approval and focus on things that are within your circle of control. The number 8 thing that is wasting our time every day. In the line of caring so much about what other people think about us, we waste too much time comparing ourselves to others. Oh, again, how I do this too often. Oh, look at this YouTube channel. It's so much bigger than mine. It's getting so many more views, so much more engagement. Do people not like me? Is this creator so much better than me? And I spend hours and hours going down this rabbit hole of comparison. Now, to do this constructively can be a good thing. If I'm looking at other channels to learn how I can be a better creator, that I should be doing. However, I need to be careful not to overlook my own progress and strength because I'm so focused on everyone else's achievement. Everyone's journey is different, and everyone is at a different point in time as regards to their journey. It's not fair to compare my beginning to someone else's middle, or my middle to someone else's end. The number 9 thing that is wasting our time every day. We don't get enough sleep. It requires tremendous energy to have the emotional fortitude to focus, to not worry what people think of us, and to refrain from comparing. However, if our body doesn't get the proper rest that it requires, we will default to our worst selves. Worrying, comparing, and at the end of the day, just wasting our time on things that are not moving our lives forward. Not getting enough sleep is similar to being drunk. We have a hard time focusing, thinking clearly, and just being efficient with our time. Something that would have taken me only 2 hours if I had a good night's sleep would take me 6 hours because my mind is constantly wandering off. For me, the best hack to get enough sleep is to have some hard rules for myself. 1. No device in the bedroom after 8 p.m. Instead of my smartphone, I keep a 3x5 note card next to my bed in case I want to write something down. I also have an analog alarm clock to wake me up. 2. Only books in the bedroom after 8 p.m. and primarily non-fiction books. No real suspense to keep me up more than I need to. And 3. To be in bed no later than 10 p.m. The act of being in bed with no device and only non-fiction books to keep me entertained naturally helps me to sleep 7 to 8 hours per night. The number 10 thing that is wasting our time every day. We have too much clutter around the house. Our environment is disorganized. When you have too much clutter, you easily lose things and you waste too much precious time looking for them. Where are the car keys? Where are my pants? Where are the kids? And it's not just losing things. Cluttered space can contribute to a cluttered mind. For me personally, if my desk has a bunch of random sheets of paper, my attention is constantly pulled from task at hand. My eyes keep wandering versus focusing on the task at hand, thus wasting precious time. Decluttering and keeping your home organized is hard to do if this doesn't come naturally, but remind yourself how much time you can save if you can just tidy up a little bit. Thank you guys for watching. In the line of decluttering our environment, if you'd like to learn how to tidy up your finances Marie Kondo style, my favorite home organization group, please check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.